I'm just about to walk down the aisle and then this happens. I was pleading, you know, when you're begging like, God, please don't. Hi, hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Chengetai Victoria. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, follow, share with your friends, and if you've been here, hey. So today I'm going to talk you through how our wedding actually went. I'm going to spill the tea. Did my planning actually go to work, basically, is the question. Today I'm going to give you some small tips for on the day, but stay tuned. But make sure you subscribe so that next week you can watch when I really give you all the tips and advice for planning your own wedding without a wedding planner, without anyone else, just you. So our wedding day, I actually had like 4 hours sleep because we had the rehearsal dinner the day before, which was fine. I didn't feel tired. I guess it was like the adrenaline and the excitement of the day. And I woke up because I had to let the makeup artist in. So yeah, that's how the day started. I wasn't the first one to get my makeup done. It was one of the bridesmaids. The day was absolutely stunning. Like the weather, it was so hot. It was like unbelievably perfect. Like the weather was actually so beautiful. I started getting ready. I'm trying to remember how I felt on the day. I think I just felt, I couldn't sleep, but I guess that was the excitement. Like I tried to go back to sleep once I knew the bridesmaids were getting their makeup done, but I just couldn't do it. I just remember being upstairs in my room. I was watching Friends as I'm literally always watching Friends. I think emotions wise, I couldn't really feel much, but maybe because I was just so overwhelmed. So I was kind of just like neutral. And mad stressed. I was kind of just like, eh. But I don't know. That's just how I felt. I think the perfect way to describe it was because I've been waiting for so long for this, and like it's something that I guess like when you're a child you kind of dream of. Being there in the moment, it felt so surreal, so I couldn't feel excitement because it's a bit like, what is happening? So in the morning we got our makeup done and we had our hair done. I obviously wore Ruka hair and I wore these beautiful white pajamas with like feathers on the sleeves and on the cuffs of my like trousers, and they were from Nadine Arabi. My sister actually got them for me, and yeah, I really loved them. She actually got them for me like last April, but I couldn't fit into them, so luckily I lost enough weight for me to be able to wear them on the wedding day. But yeah, on the drive there, I think maybe that's when I started started getting real. We got to the venue, got to our room, opened some drinks, the photographer came and we did some like shots of the dress, of us drinking the champagne and stuff. So yeah, that was all really cute. And then next, my mum and her sisters and then some of my mum's friends from church came over and they prayed. We did like a prayer circle and they prayed with us over my dress, over our marriage. And I say us, they prayed with me, and whilst my bridesmaids got dressed in another room at the venue. So that was all really exciting. Then they dressed me. By that point, Simba's family had come to collect me because I guess in Zimbabwean culture they'll come to like where you are, and they laid out like cloths on the floor and sang songs for me to walk on the cloths rather than on the floor. So yeah, that's what we did, and that was actually really amazing. Like that's something that I think I'd like, you know, just like what I'd pictured. And I remember being there like, and I was just like, you know, just happy. I was just like, embrace this moment basically. That's just how I just kept like saying to myself, like I just need to embrace this moment, and it was really just like such a wonderful moment. Okay, so now we're walking over so we can walk down the aisle. So remember when I said the weather was looking sweet? This is when, yeah. So as we're walking over to where we're gonna have our outdoor ceremony, everyone sat outside. I could hear the saxophonist playing his saxophone. I heard the applause and cheers as the bridesmaids and groomsmen walked down the aisle. To set the scene for you, this is what I had pictured. Essentially, it's an amphitheater at the venue. So like there's a staircase going downwards, and at the bottom there's an arch. We were gonna get married under the arch with a beautiful backdrop of, I guess, the Johannesburg nature. Unfortunately, there had been a storm a few weeks before we arrived in Johannesburg. Not our fault, obviously. And so some of that beautiful nature scene was no longer green, and it was giving bare, it was giving muddy. It was the like lake was giving brown muddy pool. Yeah, it just was not how I pictured it. But I was like, that's cool, that's fine. Like, you can't, everything can't be perfect. As long as we get to walk down those stairs under the arch, it's gonna be beautiful. Obviously, you spoke to the decorators, they decorated the arch with like flowers and stuff. So yeah, anyway, so I'm walking down with all, I guess, like my husband's relatives, and then they left me, and it was just me and my dad, the flower girls. I look over to my left, I see, and there's like a pool next to where I'm walking. Tell me why I'm seeing raindrops going into that swimming pool. The bridesmaids have walked down, they've gone down the stairs. Simba's about to go down with his mum. I'm seeing raindrops. I was like, God, please. I was praying, like, I'm sure my dad could hear me pray. I was like, God, please, I'm asking you in the mighty name of Jesus, please do not let it pour down with rain. Please just let this be a drizzle that will stop now. Like, I was pleading, you know, when you're begging, like, God, please don't let it rain. Please don't let it rain. I could literally, from where I was, I could now even see Simba and his mum going down. Like, I was that close to walking down the aisle. And then all of a sudden, go, 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 thunder. Showers. Yeah. I'm just about to walk down the aisle, and then this happens. At the time, I was not laughing. I was like, God, please, why would you allow this to happen? Anyway, they escorted me. So the event coordinator escorted me away from where I was. I was under some trees, so I was actually shaded. She came up with an umbrella, and then obviously once the thunder came, she was like, okay, come, run into this little, it was like a hut, little room. So I sat there, my flower girls, my dad, and we just sat there. Because now we have to go to plan B. Now they've got to move all those guests that had sat down. They've got to move them inside. They've got to move the flowers. Got to move everything. Imagine, this is my wedding day. I'm sat there, I was literally minutes away from walking down the aisle, and now I have to wait. I think it was like 45 minutes or an hour for them to move everyone across. Bear in mind, there's elderly people in wheelchairs, everything. Can you imagine how I felt? Let me describe it to you. I was getting annoyed. I was getting like very frustrated. I was just really frustrated, obviously. And then I just thought to myself, like, I've been planning this for a year. I've kind of been looking forward to this like all my life. It's like a once in a lifetime moment. There's no way I can allow my mood to go so downhill that I don't enjoy this moment. I'm not gonna get this again. And so from there, I just turned my mood. I was like, okay, let me just change my mood. Let me give you my first 2 tips. So my first tip is, when you view your wedding venue and when you're looking for your venue, if you're going to have an outdoor wedding, or I don't know, something that can be affected by things outside of your control. So like for my instance, like the weather, I can't control that. You have to make sure you fall in love with your plan B. Luckily for us, when we'd come to view the venue the first time, and then like obviously I think it was like a week or so before the wedding, we had spoken to the decorators and be like, okay, cool, if it rains, we come in here, move the flowers, bring the candles in here, like this is where we'll do things. I think had we known that it was going to rain like all day, then obviously we would have planned and made sure that everything was already in there and that everything just started in that plan B room. But where the weather was so beautiful, and I think it said, oh, it will only rain from 5 or 6, and obviously I was meant to walk down the aisle at like 4, so a bit risky. But I think, do you know what's so funny? I think it kind of made the day beautiful. I don't know, like the way everyone ran around and everything, and then everyone was in that room. By the time I walked down that aisle, like it just felt so surreal, so emotional, and like even right now I just feel like, oh my god, and it just felt like, oh my god, this is what I've been waiting for. So it was just like insane, and it kind of added to the day in such a special way. And you know, people say rain is a good luck sign. There were showers of blessings over our marriage and our life, so I accept those showers of blessings. Thank you. And it did rain pretty much the whole night after that, so a lot of blessings were poured over us. Tip number 2 is, don't sweat the small stuff. don't let things like get to you that you become stressed and it ruins your day. Basically, you've been planning for this day. Don't now on the day be in a mood or let something small that you can't control stress you out. Just go with the flow. Just enjoy it as it is and everything that just comes with it, because boy, I had to do that. And I remember like I started getting impatient. Like we were waiting by so we had now moved from the hut and we were now in the venue but like underground, and we were waiting for Simba to re-walk down the aisle with his mum. And so I was like there with the event coordinator and she's talking a walkie-talkie and they're like going, has Simba walked down the aisle? Yep, Simba walking down the aisle now. And then it felt like, why is he taking half an hour to walk down the aisle? But anyway, they did such an amazing job at Avian, so like literally so amazing. Anyway, so I walked down the aisle and it was just beautiful. I had my pastor's wife sing a song that I've had on my list for me to get married, to walk down the aisle to, I don't know how long, like since my teenage years. So it was just like, that was surreal. Like, oh, they're singing this, like obviously I knew they were going to, but like it was just like, oh my gosh, I've been waiting for this moment for so long. That moment was just so special. And then obviously Simba's at the end and he was crying. I was crying, I was shaking, I was like but anyway, it was really beautiful. If I decide to share with you the wedding video, then you'll get to see all of it. But yeah, that was just such a special moment. And like when the day comes, really enjoy that, because you won't get to do it again. Obviously we did our vows, we were crying, we were both crying, and yeah, it was just so nice that we got to write our vows to each other and they were personal and like, you know, perfect for us. And I could see like the groomsmen with their sunglasses on, they're going like everyone was just crying. Like it was just it was just so sweet and emotional. My tip number 3 for the wedding day itself is make sure you delegate. So make sure you let other people do things for you. Personally, I would like to do everything by myself, just because I feel like, you know, I like the control of knowing that, you know, I've done it myself and I know how it looks. But however, you have to relinquish control because you can't do everything, and I'm glad that I didn't actually have to do much. So on the day, I had a good sis of mine, and she's actually getting married in June, and she ran around and literally went to the wedding venue to help sort things out for us, and like I'm so grateful for her. And now I get to repay her the favor. And also all my bridesmaids had a little task to do. So like literally I had my sister-in-law, she was going to the toilet with me everywhere. She helped me get unchanged into my second dress. My other sister-in-law changed the little flower girls. There was a bridesmaid who was taking pictures. There was a bridesmaid who was taking like little videos that I can use on TikTok. There was and this isn't just for the wedding day, this was like for basically the like bridal week, from like the hen party to the wedding day and stuff like that. I had a friend of mine who was actually recording the clips I'm going to show you at the end of this video. One of my little sisters was coordinating with the boys, checking like, yo, are you guys like on time, basically making sure the girls were aligned with the boys. And another little sister of mine was making sure the girls were just on time. So all these little jobs, make sure someone's doing them. I had a good long time sister of mine doing the flowers, another one who was making sure that the gifts and stuff were being sorted. Like just make sure you have people who are doing things for you. No one asked me a question that whole day, and I think that's how it should be. And I got changed into my second dress, we did our steps, and then the food was so good. I was only going to do 3 tips, but I'm going to do another one. Make sure you eat. Make sure you enjoy the food that you paid for, because yes, you paid for everyone else to eat, but make sure you eat as well, because that food was good. Like I'm really glad I made sure to eat. I tried to enjoy every second of that food. I'm glad we went around and said hello to everyone. I don't know if that's another tip, but say hi to everyone. Like I know it's long, but they all came out for you. And especially if you did a destination wedding, like they flew out, spent a lot of money. And so make sure you say hi to everyone. But that was just a very wonderful day. I was actually sick the next day, so we had the white party. So those who don't know, we did a 3-day wedding, and by the 3rd day I was sick. I may have had COVID. I had a fever, I had a temperature. I was, you know when you're like, I was clammy, like I was just sweaty. I had no energy, and everyone was like, do a tequila shot or we'll make you feel better. It really won't make me feel better. Like, I could feel I would needed to cough like the whole time. And meanwhile, I was meant to be doing my first dance, because we did our first dance at the day after, because obviously things got a bit delayed. And we did the bouquet toss the day after. I'm gonna let you guys watch the behind the scenes of the wedding day.
Learn to be loving by your own nature, not because of somebody else or something else. If you just become love, not love somebody, then you will know the nature of love. Then you will know the nature of
Guys, to the bride! To the bride! The beautiful bride.
Hey, how come I didn't get short?
Our loved ones, I choose you to be my wife.
I promise to support every dream and idea you have. In the name of the Father,
and of the Son,
and of the Son,
and of the Holy Spirit.
and of the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Eu Yes, please. I can have you on your feet. I just want to raise the toast and say that Chengetai. Yeah. Farewell comes to the feet.
Hi, my name is Chengetai. I am the sister and makeup mom to the bride. I am going to take this is my speech to you guys. So yeah, as your younger sister, I've lived most of my life with you, and honestly, you've made a very good blueprint. You've made my life very easy, living my life with my bestie, protector, motivator, and partner.
Chengetai, there's nothing in your life which you set your mind to do and haven't achieved. You're a great inspiration to me.
Why I say that is both Simba and Chengetai like things. They like the lifestyle. I'm sure a lot of you will know exactly what I mean.
Yes.
I remember their first date actually. Simba came to me and he was like, Teddy, what should I take her on our first date? Mind you, Simba has never asked me about date ideas, so clearly there was something about this girl. Anyway.
And thank you guys for following me on this journey. I am gonna share my wedding planning tips next week, so stay tuned. And don't forget to share with any of your friends who are planning weddings this year. Bye!